Streaming, and we are now on streaming. Good morning, everybody. This is Patricia and David, Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286, and it is a very cold day. I don't know why people would want to come back to New Zealand in these sorts of conditions. We woke up to 11 degrees, 1-1 this morning. So that's not very pleasant, is it? But anyway, we've got a westerly wind here. It's about 12 to 15, I guess, from the west. 1007.1 steady and about 30% cloud cover. So it's certainly a lot warmer up where you are. Non-stop also reported in this morning on their way from Vavau to Savu. And this will be of interest to Marilyn. Pretty decent conditions for them too. The wind has dropped. They left in about westerly 15 to 20 and it's now 12 to 15 and they are currently at 18 south and 17541 west with 30% cloud cover, 26 degrees. So a bit different from 11, isn't it? So I guess Savu is going to be a warmer place to arrive at than Opua, but we'll see what we can do by the beginning of October, which is coming up fast. Hard to believe. All right. Is there anybody else with something before we get on to the news of the day? Nothing heard, but if I don't hear anything and somebody is there, could somebody just call relay? I know there will be some of you now who are no longer on yet, so if you want to send in your position. If you come in on air, the important thing for David is just the position and the conditions. So probably won't need to give him the minutes. So something, if you said something like 25 and 180 or whatever, that would be good. But give him the conditions so that he can compare with what's going on with the models. And that's. I don't think there's anything else come in on anywhere else, certainly not on the email. So we'll just have a look here. Oh yes, Miss Murphy has come in here, and yep, and that's what I've got. So that could be as well. All right. So good morning to those that are on Passage, and we will certainly be looking at detailed weather forecasting for you. It's pretty early, but September is a good month if you don't want to stay in the warm subtropics, then September is a nice month usually. And this one, we'll just wait and see, but it does look as if there are going to be no fronts. So that's going to be exciting. All right. And as I mentioned yesterday, it is good to report back to those who are following this passage weather with interest. Somebody who does not have such tranquil conditions is one of the boats that is sailing in the Golden Globe race, the 2018 Golden Globe race. Actually, there are two races around the world in commemoration. So there is one boat that unfortunately, or several boats got into a rather horrible storm, really bad winds, 80-mile-per-hour winds, 46-foot seas, that's 16-metre seas, right down the bottom of the Indian Ocean. Horrible place, and one fellow, an Indian competitor, he's actually a commander in their naval service. He had a boat turn and the mast broke off, and he has very badly injured his back and cannot actually move hardly at all, can crawl, can't get to anything. They are not allowed, the rules of this particular race are they are not allowed any modern technology. So apart from a satellite phone for emergencies, which he has used, but he can't get to his grab bag or anything. And actually they've got ham radio because we have just recently been asked to participate in getting weather to them on the ham radio. They're going along fairly low course, of course. I haven't mentioned this today, but this is actually a test of whether he listens to my news broadcasts, but haven't mentioned it to him yet. I don't think he'll be all that excited because he likes to give weather to people who are in places where butter melts, and certainly down where these guys are, butter is not melting. This fellow is right in the worst possible spot. He's midway between the bottom of countries. He's just miles away from anywhere. The Australian Coast Guard are trying to coordinate what is a multinational rescue, but boy, he's going to be there for a while, and he is very badly injured. But interestingly enough, the sails and the mast in the water are actually acting as a good brake for the boat, so it's not as bad as it could be without that rather unusual sea anchor operating. Anyway, that's him. Give a thought to that poor fellow sitting there with very badly injured back. On to more interesting and cheerful things. This is just a heads up for next week, where it is in fact October. It's the 3rd annual Vavau Blue Water Festival. It's run in Vavau, as the name would expect. It's a full week of different things, bits of celebrations. It's sponsored by both the Akua Marina and the Whangarei Marina Group, and they are going to have folk up there if you need to talk to anyone from there. But it's also going to have officers from New Zealand's Biosecurity and Quarantine Service, so you can pick up any information for this last saga of the bottom of your boat business. You can also pick up your New Zealand border information pack. These are available, of course, in all of the major ports throughout the Pacific. So pick those up. You can get all of your paperwork done, the forms done before you actually arrive in New Zealand. So that's what's happening next week in Vavau. Hopefully the weather won't be too bad up there. Going back to shipping problems, a Swiss ship, it's a wheat carrier, has been attacked by pirates off the Nigerian coast. That's a new one on that side of Africa. 12 of the crew, they don't say what nationality the crew are, but 12 of the crew have been taken hostage. The needling, let's go to the needling. I'm not sure that I mentioned this. It's a pain in the neck for the folks, the Australian growers of strawberries, but some idiot has been putting needles in the strawberries, and they've been finding them. They've now withdrawn all of the strawberries from Australian supermarkets, but one was found in Auckland here yesterday, so Countdown has removed all the strawberries from Auckland that have come from Australia. Australia are almost 3 or 4 weeks ahead of us in doing strawberries due to their warmer temperatures, but now they've had to withdraw the strawberries from the Auckland Countdown stores as well. Actually, I think strawberries at the moment are a bit tasteless. They sort of force them along. But anyway, if you do get strawberries when you arrive in New Zealand, just make sure you cut them in half before you eat them to make sure there's no needles in them. All right, I have some news from anybody following the NFL. There's been some enormous scores in some records this last weekend. What was that?
American football.
Well, this is American football. Of course, we follow that a bit here to see who our teams do. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the 49ers 38-27. Huge score. The quarterback has evidently had his 30th touchdown in 3 games, so they're doing rather well there. Also, the New Orleans Saints beat Atlanta, and that was a pretty big score too. The Falcons 43-37. I get very envious because I took myself from San Francisco to Los Angeles to watch the LA Raiders. I believe it, the LA Raiders at the time. But anyway, the Raiders played the 49ers, and it was a 0-0 score, and I thought that this game was the most boring game that anyone could ever put up with. The Rams beat the Chargers 35-23. The Eagles beat Indianapolis, that's my team, the Eagles, 20-16. I used to live in Philly. And the Buffalo Bills 27, the Vikings 6. So there you have an update of the NFL. Tiger Woods did indeed win the Atlanta PGA tournament, and he is now only 2 behind Sam Snead's record of PGA tournament wins. I think Tiger has got 80 and Sam Snead got 82. So that's pretty cool. All right, just a quick comment there. As you know, there's a few of you do not want to continue with YIT. How do we get your information? Well, you can email your position to us, and preferably early in the morning, but just if you're leaving on a passage, make sure we know about it if you want to make sure that David includes passage weather. The night before is when he needs it, if it's a strange time of the year like it is at the moment. We will, of course, be doing passage weather come mid to late October, going into November, because that's the normal time. But if you're doing a passage, let us know the night before. He's certainly going to be doing, there's a couple of you on passage at the moment. We've got boats coming across from French Polynesia, a couple heading to Palmerston. We've got boats already non-stop on their way from Bilbao to Savu Savu, but we've got Marilyn leaving today. So just make sure that you let us know, preferably the night before, because sometimes the weather conditions are such that quite a bit of study needs to be done before he says anything. So yeah, just drop us an email or get on the radio. Boy, that would be a novel thing for a radio net, wouldn't it? Pick up the old microphone. Having said that, we've had some pretty dreadful propagation the last few days, even on the ham net yesterday, and I've got it again today. It was really, really difficult. And I'm not sure how we're doing at the moment, but we'll soon find out. All right, actually, it would be good if somebody could give me a signal report, because otherwise it will be a waste of time doing much towards the east. So I'll do a pause, and if there's anybody from out east, Tonga, for example, that would be good to know that we are getting out there.
Bravo.
Oh, bravo, that's a great signal. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Trish and David. This is Bravo. Whiskey Delta Echo 5594, and all is good here in Hurry Bay, I think it is, right outside Noumea. Just a bit of a gray, overcast, fully overcast morning. We've got light winds out of the southeast, and all is well aboard. I did want to give you some good news update of the Golden Globe race that the Indian skipper Tommy has been rescued. The latest that I saw this morning was he has been rescued by a French fisheries research vessel. They got him off the boat with a Zodiac, and they're now looking to protect the Irish skipper, who has also been dismasted and is only about 25 kilometers, maybe 25 miles away. So that's a good resolution to that out of the Indian Ocean. Over.
Fantastic. Boy, they are lucky that a smaller vessel was around there, because we've been looking on the internet. It's the problems that the big vessels have trying to get because they just don't have ribs. And oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, that must have been some storm. So, and I didn't know about the Irish boats. So, boy, they're lucky that French research vessel is in the area. Boy, they must have strong tummies, these research people, to be in an area like that. Oh, that's fantastic news. You are booming, and Adam, it's fantastic copy from you. So in case, I'm sure you all did hear Adam's signal, but the French rescue boat has picked up the Indian sailor and also is now heading towards the Irish skipper on board another dismasted boat. Fantastic. Oh, good for that. Sounds like nice weather. I'm just looking over David's shoulder. It doesn't look all that faint. Oh, yes, it is. It's about the best of the lot. Samoa's looking good, and Newcastle looking next best good. Enjoy the day. Are you coming to New Zealand or back to Australia? Over.
No, Trish, I think we'll be heading back to Australia. We'll be heading back probably, in 1 to 2 more weeks of exploring Newcastle, and then we'll be heading over to Australia. Over.
Roger that. Okay, thank you. Lots to see in Australia. All right, well, is there anybody else? Well, it's all heavens no, I better pass the microphone or I'll get hit over the head. Here's David with the update of the weather.
I'm going to hit you on the head. Why would I do that? All right, good morning, everybody. Well, the upper levels are pretty much what you would expect based on the old surface report that we reviewed yesterday. We've got the 500 ridge that's east of New Zealand, a sharp 500 shortwave over New Zealand, and that's followed by the next 500 ridge over southern Australia. Now, on the surface by lunch today, we've got a complex depression. Now it's there now, but where it will lie by lunch is just east of the South Island, and it's got two other centers, total of about three centers, I think, this time around. One is well to the south, and one is to the east, and one nearly over New Zealand. Now, there are a series of fronts and troughs that are running north from this complex system. At least two of them are lying over the cruising route from New Zealand, and they get up to about 30 south. We don't have anybody that's that far south yet that had left the islands on Monday, so at the moment they're not in contention for any problems. The Tasman High now, the central pressure this morning, 1034, pretty strong, lying just south of Tasmania, and it's still ridging toward the islands. And again, that's the big player in this week's passage to New Zealand. Those of you trying to follow all of these surface conditions should be pulling down the New Zealand surface pressure charts. It shouldn't be hard to do hopefully you'll be able to do it quite readily using your radio. Now, jumping a few days to Thursday, a couple days from now, the Tasman High is going to be between New Zealand and Australia, and it will have dropped in pressure just a little bit. We're looking at about 1025 millibar, and that will be encompassing nearly the entire cruising route with its rather extended ridge. So that's very, very good news for those of you that have left. Now, interesting developments in the deep tropics. We're going to shift geography now up in the deep tropics. As the Tasman Ridge provides quite a bit of southeast trade wind flow toward the Solomons and also the Santa Cruz Islands, at the very same time, we have got four separate tropical storms that are found in the North Pacific. And one of these is over Majuro. It may turn into a trough, but in any case, there's four separate little systems that are up there. Now, these low pressure areas are literally sucking the air from the northern South Pacific. Now, this flow crosses the equator as westerlies, and in the process are forming two areas of cyclonic flow in the South Pacific at about 10 south. So we are finding two tropical disturbances as part of a trough that's extending from the Solomons east all the way over to the dateline, and those are running at about 8 to 10 south. Now, this also is the first time this season that I've seen westerlies along the equator. And of course, this is something that contributes to El Nino conditions. Although we still are officially in neutral conditions, when we start to see more and more westerlies, then we can see why the models are starting to say that there is a possibility of a weak El Nino this season. But a couple of days of westerlies is not going to do it. But anyhow, I thought I'd mention that for those of you that are interested in a little bit of the climatology up in the deep tropics. Anyhow, as a result of all this action up there, we have a very large area of convective activity in our part of the deep tropics, which can very well drift south and possibly get to New Cal, Vanuatu, Fiji, and Tonga later on this week, maybe Wednesday, Thursday time frame. Might even continue Friday and Saturday. We'll see about Friday and Saturday. May very well be an outlier at that point, but anyhow, it's possibly in the cards. that were dealt with. So we'll have to see what happens. In the meantime, though, an existing trough is already over the Solomon Islands, and it runs to the east-southeast, and it hooks up with the quasi-stationary front that runs north toward Tonga and Fiji. Now, this front emanates from the complex depression that is in the New Zealand area. So, in a way, you can see how all of this connects. All very interesting if you have the interest. All right, looking up a little bit more in the tropics, there is another trough that happens to be, this one's over Tokelau. Then it goes on to the poor northern Cooks. This is now, I think, the third season in a row that we've been doing the net, where the Cooks, virtually every season, get nailed by these troughs. Lovely place to be. We've been there, and it's fantastic. Saguaro is basically the main stopping point for most of the boats coming west. And Palmerston as well, where we've also been. But, boy, it's a real shame that we're getting this kind of activity. Anyway, apart from the other troughs mentioned earlier, it looks like Niue is also affected, as well as Futuna and Rotuma. So, a lot of activity if you were to look at your satellite imagery, those of you that have the internet. Now, Tonga, over there at this point, looks like scattered cloud. The main trough axis is just a wee bit south of Tonga Tapu. It's a pretty hardy-looking trough, but it's just to the south, not quite up there to the island group. However, looking a little bit further, Friday should see a fair amount of convective activity. So enjoy Tonga while you can. Very humid this morning in Vavau. The dew point and the overall temperature are very close together, so not my kind of weather, that's for sure. Calm conditions, though. Scattered cloud as well, and the barometer 1013, if you want to check your barometer. The pies are calm as well. Now, this is early this morning, 6 a.m. Scattered to broken and barometer 1014. And Tonga Tapu report southeast 5 to 10. Scattered to broken there and barometer 1015. So a little bit of a pressure differential, but not enough to create a lot of wind. So by lunch, I see southeasterlies in the 15 knot range, and tomorrow about 10 to 15 southeast as well. And remember, when I give winds, these are mean winds. They don't take into account your gusts. Now, Fiji shows quite a bit of cloud on the blimp this morning. This trough should affect the country for a few days, as I said. So expect the trough conditions. But this time, a little bit heavier rain, I believe. Fiji Met agrees with that as well, with a pretty good chance of thunderstorms both today and tomorrow. Now, thunderstorms bring the heavy rain, the poor visibility, but they also bring downflow gusts, and these gusts can easily be between 30 and 40 knots for brief periods of time. And generally, we get wind changes. Oftentimes, we get a wind reversal. So be careful, again, about being too close to shore in these sort of conditions. But anyhow, today the winds, the mean winds east to southeast about 15 to 20. The winds are going to pick up tomorrow 15 to 20, possibly up to 25 knots around southwest Fiji, Lebu, and Kendavu. And again, I am not talking about what happens in thunderstorms, so keep that in mind. The radar this morning shows scattered showers about the group. Most of it this morning in the Koro Sea and northern Viti Levu, and very heavy showers north of Vanua Levu. And because the radar is out in Nandi, I can't tell you what it has to say for that part of the world. Although looking at the loop at the moment, doesn't look too bad. The main body of cloud is right through Vatui Ra and northwest of there. In fact, northwest of there, there's some big convective cells. And they are all heading, if we were to look at a general direction, northwest to southeast. And whether they get to Fiji is another question. Oftentimes, they just dissipate. All right, over to Vanuatu. Not great for today as the trough affects most of the group as well. It's worse in the north, especially up to the banks. The wind southeast in the 20 knot range, all the way down to Erromango, 15 to 20 for Tanna and Anishan. Tomorrow, southeast 20 most everywhere, and troughing may very well continue right through the group tomorrow as well, as I mentioned before. New Caledonia shows scattered broken this morning on the loop. We've already gotten a report about overcast skies, and we certainly could see that comes and goes. Wind southeast in the 15 knot range, picking up, I think, to about 15 to 20 this afternoon out in the open lagoon. Tomorrow, east-southeast 10 to 15, but closer to 20 knots as the day progresses. Now, Thursday, watch out for Thursday. A little bit more wind, I think. We're looking at east-southeast 20 knots, possibly gusting 30 knots. So you may want to be in a more sheltered area before Tuesday shows up. So we'll see if that happens. And that pretty much sums up the general outlook and some specifics. But if I haven't gotten your area or you want something a little bit more than what I gave, feel free. And I'll pass this over to the chief.
All right. And if anybody needs me to put their position, whether it comes to me on the radio or on an email, if you want me to put it onto Git, would you let me know, please? Otherwise, I will not. All right. Is there anybody with anything else? We've got reports in from Falanga. Sounds rather nice, but cloudy down there, though. Thanks, Four Seasons and Messatroy. We've got 14 knots of southeast, overcast in 1013 and 25 degrees. Wow. Boy, I always regret not having gone to the Lao group. Anybody with anything?
Hello, mate.
Good morning, Trevor and Jan. Go ahead, Trevor.
Yeah, you had Pilgrim and Excel trying to call earlier on.
Ooh, not hearing much from over that side of the world, am I? All right, let's start with Pilgrim. Good morning, Ron. Jeez, what's happened to Fiji? Yeah, boy, absolutely nothing. It's really, really strange because Fiji used to boom. And okay, relay, please, Trevor.
Yeah, I was just going to give you the name of Little Murphy, but you've got it.
Yep, Gordon's on his way. Yeah, thank you very much for that. And I assume he would have said if he'd heard anything from Quintessa, our mysterious lone hander, battling away across to the more interesting part of the world, as far as we're concerned, anyway.
The shellman.
The shellman, yes, we'll call it the shellman. If you hear from Alan, just do let us know, Ron. And let's try for XL. Geez, nothing again.
I'll give it a hint.
Nothing here, Trevor. All right, yeah, we have got a real problem with Fiji this morning, so just as well we've got streaming operating perfectly today. Nothing too much has come in question-wise from Fiji. I looked up the Nandi QNH, it's 1012, so if you're up in that area you can set things. And that's about it. Well, I have to go into the city today. I'm not looking forward to it because we've got about 40 kilometre per hour winds from the west here, so I hope the ferry driver is kind to us all and tucks into the coast. That's about it from us. We'll make the frequency all yours. Now, I haven't heard from Elve at all. I'll just give a call probably. Elve, Gulf Harbour. They're coming up from Tauranga, but they're pretty slow, so we probably don't expect them into the 30 degree and higher area just yet. All right, cheers everybody. Have a good day. Back again tomorrow. Bye.